artboards, right? And there's only stuff on 2 of them. All right, let's make a new artboard. So this means we're going to make a new, oh, we got to make this smaller for you. We're going to make a new space to work on. And the 2 sizes that we're going to make for our poster project, the thing about this is that you can actually save like individual artboards. So we can just make everything on the same one. So the artboard tool, as a reminder, is on the bottom left, right above the white hand. And when you select it, it will select one of your artboards. And then you can press New Artboard. And it will make one that is the same size and orientation as the one that was selected before. New Artboard is along the top. It's right next to the 2 different. So this is Artboard 4, and if we look up here on this top menu too, you can see it's 8.5 inches by 11 inches. Well, the width is 11. So we're going to keep the width at 11, but we actually want to make the height, because this is going to be our bigger poster. We want to make the height 17. Hold on a second. Let me pull this out of the way. The new artboard, if you look along the top menu, it's this little plus sign.
Yeah, sorry, I can't really. It's so small back here.
I know. Well, you're welcome to move forward too.
Yeah, I might have to.
So I know it's just there's no.
Well, most of those things I can easily find. It's just if I'm doing something on here and then you're going to something else, and
yep.
It's quick and I don't see it. So.
I know. I have to teach myself to slow down too. So
you've been doing this for a while.
we're gonna make 2 artboards. So right now we're gonna make another one. So plus. This second one though is actually going to be letter sized. So either you can change the proportions up here, 11 by 17, or you could just choose this drop down menu and choose letter. Okay, so the new one that you just made, is that still letter sized?
Yeah.
Okay, so the one that is, do you have one with marching ants around it right now?
Yep.
All right, we're going to change that one to be tabloid sized. So you can choose from the drop down menu and choose tabloid. That would be 11 by 17.
Yep.
All right. So your first part of this designer inspiration project is going to be the 11 by 17 one. Okay? This one. So to get back to your selection key, you can either press V or you can click on the selector. And we are going to put in some images from your designer. And we'll see if they actually are high enough resolution. So there's a couple ways of doing it. You can just click and drag. I like to do place. So file, you can't see that I'm pressing file, but I am. And go down to place. And then find your images. So mine was Paul Rand. I'm going to go with this Earth Day poster first. And once you've selected an image, it'll show like a little mini version of that image. And you can either, if you click and release, it will put the full size. Or if you click and drag, you can put it, you can make it a different size. But this is the full size image here, so I can see that my poster is either going to have to use a different image that's bigger, because if I stretch this, it's going to be pixelated, and that's lame. Or I'm going to have to use multiple images. So I think I'm going to use multiple images. But you guys can make that decision yourself. I mean, because I'm thinking Paul Rand, I'm thinking of like a colored background and then grid, because that's sort of what he's all about. But maybe you have different ideas for how you want to promote your...
Yeah, I mean, I have like 3 images and they're pretty much the same size. So
okay.
If I just put them all in there.
Yeah, totally.
I don't like pixelated.
Yeah, we don't want things to be pixelated. We're going to print these off, and so you want them to look nice. So that's how you place images. Then you can move them around, and of course you can resize them by using the anchors on the edges. If you want to resize and maintain proportion, which we do want to, you'll hold Shift when you're resizing. If you don't hold Shift, you might make it skinny, or you might make it fat, and you don't want that. Command Z is a way to move back. I am actually going to do a tiny little layer lesson right now. So right now we have everything in the same layer, all the stuff that we've done. Let's get ourselves a little bit more organized. So in the layers menu, if you do not see a layers menu, you can go to Window and Layers, and it will show up. Do you guys all see a layers menu? All right, we're going to make a new layer, and let's call it Part 1. And if you open up Layer 1, the image you just placed should be at the top because it's the last thing you did. And you can just drag that into Part 1. Now it's in Part 1. And as long as Part 1 is highlighted, then everything you put in there will be in Part 1 layer. And you'll notice the difference because see how Part 1 is red right here on the side? Now anything that you do that's in this layer is going to be highlighted red instead of blue, which is what the other layer color was. And just I want to give you guys some time to just sort of play around, but for one more layer thing, I want you guys to we're going to make a background. I don't care if the background's white, but as of right now, the only thing in this artboard is that placed image. So I want there to be a background. If it's going to be a white background, you can just make a white rectangle. If you want a colored one, you can do that too. But pull out a rectangle. So remember, the rectangles are where they are. I think the shortcut is M. Make a rectangle. Boop. And when you pull out the rectangle, you'll say, oh shoot, my picture's gone. But you can just open up your layer and drag that rectangle down to the bottom.
Is there a shortcut for like getting through layers? Because on Google Drawings, there's like you hold Shift and do the up and down keys to like bring it forward.
Oh, bring it forward or back?
Doing that, like, on here, you think, or no?
Yes. So
so bring forward, bring back.
Yep.
I think it's
so that's
the same thing as the down and up.
Okay. Yeah. So it looks like it's Shift Command, open bracket, Shift Command close bracket.
Yeah. That way you don't have to
go to the menu every time. Yeah, and especially if you have like a lot of things on your layer.
Yeah, because I don't want shaders like in front.
Right.
Right. Weird, so.
And don't forget, you might get like something that frustrates kids a lot is that they forget that they have like the rectangle tool, and then instead of like being able to move something, they make another rectangle. So don't forget, V is your best friend. It's going to bring you back to selection. If you want, say this is my background, I'm in love with it, I think that's what I want forever. In the layer, if you find that rectangle, I'll know that that's selected because there's a little square next to it. I can lock this, and now this guy's not going to move. So if you want stuff to stay, you can lock it. Just make sure you don't lock the whole layer, because if you do, you won't be able to do anything on it. So that's another thing. And I think that's probably enough information for now.